You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because your brain won't stop spinning. The problem, overthinking, isn't deep thinking. It's fear in disguise, and most people don't even realize it's controlling them. Overthinking feels like opening 100 tabs in your brain and none of them load, as if you replay the same thought 20 times and still feel unsure. You scroll, you compare, you freeze. Overthinking is stealing your peace. Let's fix that. That is a quote I come by. For me, overthinking was one of the hardest things to even beat. As I think now, overthinking, you never get rid of it 100%. It'll always be there. But you can reduce it as much. That's the reality. You can reduce it. And as the quote said, let's fix that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fix that. That you do not have to overthink as bad as anymore. Curing it, there isn't. It's the same with a serial killer or contract killer. They still have a breakpoint. It will always be there. Only it's so little. That's what we're going to achieve. With 10 points. There are too much to even think of, so I will just talk you through it. That's how it's going to be. With my whiteboard, if I need to draw something, I will explain it further. But let's get into the 10 points. Which the most common thing that I experience myself is you're scared to make a wrong choice. What if the outcome is not great? You're thinking, what would others say about me? And that's what I really, really long had when it comes to my work. I want to grow, but the problem was I need to let something go. Because otherwise, if they do it wrong, it's my fault, which is true. But if I do not let it go, I will go nowhere. The same with ordering something, ordering something for someone that they're not there, and you need to control it. That was one of the hardest things, and then, which leads to my second point, I did not trust myself. Not trusting yourself was one of the biggest faults I could make then. And that is just to do with that fear going through your mind. What will they think if it's wrong? Then you get criticized. And criticization, that was for me the hardest thing to receive. I was someone who could not accept criticism. I was too perfect. I was too perfect stated. I just want to do everything perfect, but we're humans. We cannot do anything perfect. That was the problem I experienced with it. That was one of the biggest problems I experienced immediately. Just the lack of trust, the fear of being criticized, and just fearing what will others think. Now to my third point, being overstimulated 24/7. At some point I had just a screen time of 22 hours, continuous. Then I thought of myself, 22 hours staring at that piece that's now filming me. Or now, this piece that I have here. Just staring at it like this. Yeah, it was killing me. Now I feel tired because I'm pushing myself. As for Thursday, Wednesday, I had 4 hours of sleep when I got to Thursday. I need to recharge my battery of my car. So I get up early, drive to the nearest charge point. That is cheap. was 10 cents cheaper now, which may sound nothing. But if your charge cost €7.50, you save €3. At the end, sometimes standing up early is not wrong. But in the end, after 2 charges, I've already gained another charge. Instead of charging at a more relaxed time. But that was, for me, being so much overstimulated. And as I begin with Wednesday, then on Thursday, I woke up, charged my battery. I went exercising, which was yesterday for me now. Then I played some card games with my grandmother. And then my work called me, can we come earlier? But I had to make a video. But it was Friday, I had to make it. I was thinking, fuck man, how am I going to do that? And I need to make this one as well, because tomorrow I have a course about giving help to someone. If they faint out, if they've broken a leg and there is no doctor in a point, I need to make sure that person has the highest chance of recovery. That's the course about. So now, then at that moment I said, you know what? I didn't leave them a message. I did not say anything. Then I stood there 2 hours before. And I worked my ass off because it was a supermarket competition, which is just a competition between various categories in the same supermarket, which for me is Hoofdlied. And we've come first in our category in revenue. So that shows that it was worth it. And for me, that is all blood, sweat, and tears. And it's not being tired of being overstimulated. Now, we get to the fourth point. What makes your overthinking worse? One of the reasons is social media overload. Today, you get your dopamine from social media, which there's nothing wrong with, as long as you do not compare yourself with others. I've said it more than 1,000 times already. Someone only posts their highlights, not the struggles in between, which I've done too. I've posted a photo of my new car, which for my age, with what people standards are here in the Netherlands, is very impressive. But they do not know the struggle that I went through. That's the difference. People only post the highlights and then even Photoshop it to be that overly perfect. Well, they're just putting a filter over it. There is 99% out of there is nothing real. So that's why do not compare yourself. I know it's hard, especially when you feel lonely. But the moment you can let that go, that is the biggest step in the right direction you can take from this moment on. Now, one thing is with overthinking, most of the times you have those spaces, zones when you're lonely, which if you're really overthinker, most of the time you are lonely because then you have little people, so you worry more. But if you're popular, everyone invites you, yeah, what do you have to lose? So you overthink text. You rehearse conversation that has never happened. You keep quiet in group chats because you're afraid that people mock you about something. That is isolation without real talk. That is just you preparing for the worst and it hasn't even happened. There is no action towards the possible worst outcome. And that is why you need to cut that off. Do not do that anymore. But I had it too. How would someone react? And what if it will get to that person and that person and that person? That was how I was thinking. And now I think, what the fuck can they care about me? I live my life. I'm happy. If they have to say something, please do it. But I do not care. And that is the number one discipline mindset you need to have when it comes to that. Just fuck it. Do not be the person that just cares about it all the time. And I know it's hard. It's not something you magically has changed a switch. No, it takes time. And time, it goes by like this, very slowly. It takes time and effort, especially the effort. That's because you're not sharing what is on your mind. You have no one to share with because you're afraid that they betray you in any way. Well, that is the risk you take when you live. That is something you need to accept, which is hard. For me, I have trust issues to these days. If I trust you, I trust you. If I do not trust you, I do not trust you. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it's going to be. If I trust you, that's great. If I do not, then none. That's how easy you eventually need it to be. And once someone hurts your trust, just leave them. That is the biggest thing you'll learn. Today, we're so emotionally connected. Before that, before even Snapchat and everything existed, you just went to the person. If he or she was not home, you would just go. If you left primary school or middle school and went two completely different routes, you'll just forget about them. Now you can stay in contact, visit, and keep track of what they're doing. And if they're going up and you going down, that is the biggest reflection you're going to get. And that is when you're overthinking. Now, as I said, I was someone to be too perfect. And it took me a long, long time before I even learned that we are a human. I just wanted to do everything perfect for everyone. Just do it myself so it will feel more of a reward when it was done and they appreciated it. But in the end, it takes forever just to start. You do not post a video or text because you're scared, and you rewrite the same message 10 times before sending it. It is okay to make mistakes. You do not need to be afraid to make mistakes because they will happen guaranteed in your life. That is something you cannot control and you cannot put away. They will happen. That's how easy it is. They will just happen. You cannot control them. You cannot say, I will never make mistakes. Those are guarantees that will come in life. And you do not need to be afraid to make mistakes. Learn from them. If you make a mistake, just be honest about it. If you've done something wrong, let's say you've forgot to clean the dishes, and you just, instead of doing it good, um, you just rushed it a little bit because time was getting low, and then it seems like it's done, right? And then your boss, or mom, or dad, or both come home and say, have you done your dishes? Yes, I've done it. And I go like, but it's not gone great. Did you forget about it? And then if you say, yeah, I forgot about it, but I was scared that you will be upset, then they would just go, no, of course not. I better have it that you're doing it anyway. and being a little late, then doing like this. They will forgive you immediately. But just saying, no, I do not forget about it. Then they say, no, you can do it again. This is not right. They will have a higher chance to get mad at you. But how to escape this? Because I can talk about it, how it goes in your mind, but you want to escape it eventually. Well, when overthinking comes to your mind, write it down on something or talk to yourself. Do not go let it racing in your mind. Write it out in a diary. Text someone. Talk to yourself, which I do a lot of times before I sleep. I just talk to myself about my day and feeling good. It's not the stress, the pressure that comes to you. No, it feels like you really turn off. There's nothing to worry about. So just avoid it, keeping to yourself. Let's say you're stressing about a job or a school deadline. Write what's bugging you, why it feels heavy, what you're scared of. Most of the time, once on paper, it feels 10 times smaller, or you spot the exact thing that's been messing with you. As an overthinker, you're the best. Your best ability is to make it this big. Well, it's just this little thing of a penis. That's I've done it. I was the master in creating this out of this. And I did it myself. I know it. I talk from experience on this. Just make sure you can clear it out of your mind. Now we get into the last three already. Give yourself a time limit. You're debating for 2 hours over something that could have taken 5 minutes to decide. Set a timer. It's something you can use. For me personally, what worked the best is through research. I found this is the best method. But what worked for me was just instead of talking about it all the time, I will just talk about it for a little bit. Think of the biggest things, then do it, and then afterwards I will talk about it. That was just done. But if it is a 5 minute task, just do it instantly. And if you need to set a timer, do it. If you need to pressurize yourself into doing it because otherwise you lose this, do it. Make sure you're feeling the need to do it straight away because then you save time, remove pressure, remove stress, and give yourself an overall happier feeling. So when this can occur, for me it was with picking an outfit, replying to a message, or deciding between two plans. If two people really wanted to see me, it was just, how am I going to do this? And it was not like, no, I'm already going with this person. It was, maybe can you go on this time? And then afterwards I was telling the other person, can you go on this? So I'll get the maximum, but in the end, it's not worth it. Sometimes a no is good as well. And this next point is really a mental side of it, which this takes time again to solve. But it is ask better questions. Now, for me, instead of what if it's going wrong, what if it actually works out? Instead of looking negative, setting myself negative eventually, what am I going to get? I'm going to get this. Eventually, you want that the negative side has a lower impact on you than the positive side. When that happens, You have nothing to fear, man. And it's all going good. That is eventually what you want. Nothing to fear. That you can just be happy about it. That is eventually what you want in your life. Because fear-based questions create panic. Am I going to do this? Is it possible I'm going to do this? Is it really stupid of me to think about it? You're already racing with a fast countless of meters away. And it's the same with doing questions like, what will someone think of me because I'm doing this? You're just creating unnecessary stress. And probability or possibility questions just give you that feeling, I'm going to get this. This is something that's worth it for me. I'm going to do that. That is the questions you want to ask yourself. And now the last thing, which for me has become one of my favorite things, is a hard thing to say, but I enjoy it afterwards a lot. Move your body. Just go out, have a run, have a walk, stretch, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do some squats, some type of exercise when you're moving yourself. And then if you just go, most of the times I just like to talk to myself. When I'm walking with my dog alone, I will just talk with myself, having a conversation with myself. Then when I come home, I'm calmed down. I have nothing to fear. I'm relaxed, no stress. Just the moment you're doing something, that is the moment it's going to get better. Just leave the phone away. Only blast some music or something like that. But leave that phone away. And then enjoy the moment, how peaceful it can be. Because that is what you want. So there are 10 reasons and 10 ways how you can stop this. And I know it's a hard thing. I know it's something that's bothering you every day in, day out. It will get better. Once you just follow that and enjoy it. It sounds strange, but enjoy it also. This is the first thing you want to make sure you remove out of your life. This killed me from the day I started doing it. It was really a mental killer, and I'm glad I'm off it. And I hope this worked for you too. So I wish you very, very good luck, the best of it, and I hope to see you in my next video.